This conference will now be recorded.
Okay. So before starting with the Tosca automation, I just want to ask you a few questions. Like, anyone from IT background or testing side? Anyone of you? Can I hear some response?
Yeah, I belong to manual testing.
Manual testing. Okay. What about others?
From non-IT.
Okay, fine. No issues.
Ravi from non-IT.
Okay, no issues. So, okay, people from testing background or manual testing. Anyone? Can anyone answer like, what is the testing? What is manual testing? What do you do in the manual testing? Can anyone answer? Please try to be interactive. Okay. So, yeah. Okay. So, what is the testing? Any software application, if you build, okay, before reaching it to the end users, okay, end users in the sense, let's consider some WhatsApp application only. Who are the end users? We, right? So before providing WhatsApp to us, we have to, like, testers has to test the application. Okay, like, they have to make sure if all the functionalities are working fine or not. Let's say, suppose if we are considering that WhatsApp message feature, okay, so before approaching it to the end users, they have to test it, like, if all the messages are going to the correct person or not, if a call feature is working fine or not, if video call is working fine or not. So all these things, there should be someone who has to test before reaching it to the end users. Okay, so that is what we do testing. And now the question is, what is the manual testing and what is the automation testing? What is the difference between these two? Okay, anyone? Difference between these two?
In manual testing, we will do with manually, and in automation, we will automate the test cases. Automatic.
Automate the test case, automatic. Okay. Any other answers? Okay. So in manual testing, if you consider a simple example like a login scenario for any application, so what you will be providing? You will be providing your username and password and then hit the login button. Okay. Now suppose if you want to test this scenario in manual testing, you will manually enter some username in the username field. Click on this login. Yeah. Here you will manually enter some email ID and then manually enter password and then hit the login button and see if your application is responding as per the expectation. So if I'm telling, if your application responding as per the expectation, in the sense, if you give the correct email ID and correct password, then you have to navigate to the next page. Okay, some home page. If you are giving some email ID and correct password, and when you hit the login button, you should be able to see some error message, correct? Or if you are not giving any email ID and any password, and if you hit this login button, then you should be able to see some error messages, correct? This is what your application has to respond according to your test data which you are providing in these two text boxes. Okay, so here you are manually giving the test data into these fields. That is about manual testing. And when it comes to the automation testing, you will not manually enter the test data into these fields, but then you will guide, like you will, let's consider this Tosca tool. Okay, with some tool support, you will enter the data into so and so field. Okay, is this clear? The same testing, same flow of steps, what you are following in the manual testing, you will follow it in the same in the automation testing as well. But then you will enter the test data through some tool support. Okay, where in the manual case, you will manually enter it. Okay, there will not be any tool support. Please go on mute if you are not talking. Hello, Balaji, please go on.
Hello. Hello.
Hello, yes, Balaji.
Good morning, madam.
Good morning. Any
Madam,
doubt you
I want to joining in a meeting, madam.
Hello, if you have any doubts, please ask in after demo completed if you ask the doubts.
have? Yeah. Please go on mute,
I want to
Balaji.
job. I want to prepare. I want to job, madam.
Okay, fine, fine, Balaji. I will give you some time. Okay, you can ask your doubts in that way. Okay, let us finish the demo session. I will answer all your doubts. Yeah. So this is the
Actually,
difference.
I don't know about this one.
Okay. Okay, Balaji, please listen to the class. You can ask your
Hmm.
doubts after the class. Yeah.
How to join, madam? I don't know.
Balaji, please go on mute.
Where? Hello.
Okay. So now this is the difference between the manual testing and the automation testing. Okay. Now we have what all the tools we have for the automation: Selenium, Tosca, UFT, all these are the automation tools. Okay, but what is the specialty? Now our training is all about the Tosca automation testing. Okay, so what is this? What is the specialty of this automation tool? Is like for all the other automation tools, you require some coding knowledge and you will be writing some code. Okay, but in Tosca, we do not require any coding knowledge. We do not write any code here. Okay, simply just by capturing the properties of each element. I'll show you one example how you actually automate something like without using any code or without any coding knowledge. Okay, and this Tosca has developed by the Tricentis people. Okay, it's a German company, and Tricentis people only has developed this demo web shop application for us to practice. Mm. So all throughout the training, I'll be using this demo web shop application. It's a shopping website they have developed. Okay, so we can make use of this application and we can create the test cases and practice. Okay. And yeah, this is your Tosca application. Okay, the screen which you are seeing, we call it as the Tosca Commander. Okay, so in Tosca Commander, we have all these sections: module section, test case section, requirement section, test case design section, execution section, and the scratchbook. Okay, so yeah, let me tell you one sample example, like how do you actually automate using like without any coding knowledge, and then we can discuss what is the use of all these sections. Okay, yeah. Now, if you consider any web application, okay, so for all the web applications, you will be having the DOM structure. So what is this DOM structure and what is the use of it? DOM structure is nothing but the HTML code. Okay, so where should some element present on this screen? All these, and what are the properties of that element? All these information is present in that HTML code. Okay, so that we call it as a DOM structure. And now, when you consider some web application, what all the elements you can see, like you will be having some visible elements and invisible elements. Okay, so when it comes to the visible elements, what are the visible elements? Anyone? Just by seeing the screen itself, you can tell what all the visible elements you are able to see. Text box, some hyperlinks, some buttons, radio buttons, and you'll be having check boxes as well, right? Check boxes. All these are all the visible elements that are present on the UI screen, that are present on a web application. Okay. And now when it comes to the invisible elements, okay, people who have little idea on HTML, they can answer. Like you will be having divs, span, UI, all these tags, right? So those are all the invisible elements that are present on the screen. Don't worry if you don't have any knowledge on the HTML, that is not required. I'm just telling you for the information sake. Now, if you want to see the DOM structure of this page, then you have to press F12. Okay. And yeah. And see, here you can see the entire HTML code of this page. Okay, see, if I mouse over here, it is highlighting that element. Okay, all these the HTML code. Now this is the div, this is the invisible element that is present on the screen. Okay, similarly, like this div tag, you'll be having the span tag as well and the UL tag as well. Okay, now we will see if we want to know the some particular property of an element. Okay, so what you can do, if you want to see the properties of this register element, what you can do is right click on this register element and click on inspect option. Okay, and here you can see the DOM structure, the properties of this register. Okay, it is already highlighting in this blue color. If I mouse over here, it is highlighting on the screen which element it is representing. Okay, since we have inspected this register, that is the reason it is highlighting the register element on the screen. Any doubt still here, guys? Any doubts?
No, madam. No, we are
Okay.
good.
Yeah. And see, if I mouse over the here, okay, this all the header links, you can see the class name, it is naming it as header links wrapper. Okay, so all these header links are getting highlighted. Okay, and the properties of these header links is class name you have. Okay, class is the property and the value is header links wrapper. Okay, similarly for each and every element which is present on the screen, it will be having some properties. Okay, so yeah, now we will see how we can automate something using the Tosca tool. Okay, so here you have a module section. Just right click on this module and you have an option called scan. Okay, and click on application. And yeah, before going this, I just wanted to tell you, in automation testing, we have two phases. Okay, so one is the identification phase and the second one is the action phase. So what is this identification phase and the action phase? Let's consider the same example, login scenario. If you want to enter, one second. Yep. If you want to enter some data in this, or if you want to click on this subscribe button, okay. So first, your Tosca tool has to identify where that subscribe button is present on the screen. Okay, and then after identifying, it should perform some action, whatever action. If we want to click on this or double click on this or right click, or if you want to pass some test data into any of the text fields, all these things you can perform. So first phase is the identification phase. Identify your element using its HTML properties. Okay, just now we have seen, right, some class name, all these properties are present. Using those properties, you will identify the element. Okay, and then once Tosca identifies the element, then what action you want to perform on the identified element comes into the second phase of the automation. Okay, now if we identify the subscribe, what we want to do, we want to perform click action on this. So this click action comes in the second phase of the automation. Okay, is this clear? Automation has two phases. One is the identification phase, and the second one is the actions that to be performed on the identified element. Okay, now let's see how we will identify the elements using its HTML properties without coding and using the Tosca tool. Okay, so what we have done, we just went to this module section, right click, and we choose scan application options, right? And once you choose scan application option, you got this window. Okay, so what is this window? We call this as xscan window. Okay, so here what happens is, whatever applications that are opened in your desktop, it will show all these applications. Okay, and here in on which application you want to perform some action, you can choose that application. Okay, but let me first close this one. Mm, so once again I'm showing you, right click, scan application. Am I audible to you guys?
Yes,
Hello?
ma'am. Yes.
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 Okay. 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 I just got a ping from Ravi, like he is not able to hear my voice. Ravi, you can drop off and try to join once again. Maybe it is the problem from your end, it seems. Others are able to hear my voice. Okay. So again, this xscan window has come. Okay, so this time earlier I have opened this demo webshop application in two tabs, so it was showing two. Okay, and now I have closed one, and again I have launched this xscan window. So we just have only one demo webshop application open, so that is the reason it is showing only one application here. Okay, and now we want to automate this application. Just select on this. You can either double click or click once and then click on the scan option. Okay, scan. So now what happens, this xscan window, it will launch the entire DOM structure of the current page that is opened here. Okay, so this is the demo webshop, sorry, this DOM structure we have seen by pressing the F12 or by right clicking on some particular element and choosing the inspect option, right? Now this DOM structure is launched in the Xcan window. Okay, so this is how we will launch the DOM structure in Tosca. And now see here, you can see the elements. Okay, and if you click on one particular elements, right side you have something like identify by properties, and here in the technical section you will have the HTML properties of that element. Okay, like class name, inner text, tag, type, value, all these are all the HTML properties of this application, so of this search. Okay, now just remove this filter line. Okay, so by default your filter line will be set to here. Okay, if you want you can remove this filter line. And now let's say suppose I want to identify these two elements. Okay, register, login. So click select on screen. You have an option called select on screen. Okay, which will allow you to select the elements that you want to perform some action. Okay, so now we want to perform some action on this register and this login. So I'll just choose these two elements. Okay, and after choosing these two elements, unselect this select on screen. Okay, so I have unselected it, and now click on this register and you can see the properties of this register element. Okay, so by default Tosca identified this register element with the two properties, that is the inner text and tag A, and there is only one element on this page with the combination of these two properties, inner text and inner text as register and the tag as A. Tag A means it is a hyperlink. Okay, and that is the reason it is showing like the selected item is unique. Okay, that means there is no other element that is present on the screen with this combination of properties. There is only one element. So that's how Tosca will identify your element. Okay, is this clear for everyone or any doubts you have? Yes, feel free to ask your doubts. Okay. And always, like whenever you choose some elements using the select on screen, Tosca will identify that element with some properties. Okay, let's say like if in this register element case, it has identified with inner text and tag as A. Okay, but sometimes you have to cross check like with which properties it is identifying your element as unique. Okay, because in some cases for these properties you will be having some dynamic data, okay, which will keep on changing. Let's say suppose I'm selecting one more element as this shopping cart and the wish list as well. Okay, now if I click here, you can see the selected item is unique, and with which properties your shopping cart is identified as unique with the inner text and tag as A. If you see the inner text, you can see shopping cart, and within the braces they have presented as 0. Okay, but this 0 is the dynamic data because you did not add any items to your shopping cart. That is why it is showing 0 items. Okay, if you add any item, okay, one or two items, if you add 2 items to your shopping cart, then it will show within the braces, it will show the number as 2. Okay, but here you are trying to identify the shopping cart with the property like shopping cart and with the number as 0. So every time Tosca will try to identify for this element, like which element it has on the screen with the inner text as shopping cart and within the braces as 0. Okay, now if you add 2 items then within the braces the number will not be 0, it will be 2, and Tosca will not be able to identify your shopping cart element because it is you have identified with the 0 number and here it is the 2 number. Okay. Yep, this is a little complex. We will discuss in the later classes. Okay. For now, just remove these two, and yeah, this register, it has the inner text as register and tag as a. So what is the meaning of this is, now when you want to perform some action on this register element, Tosca has to identify this element. So how Tosca will analyze to identify this element is, it will fetch the properties of all the elements that are present on the screen, like it will try to find the combination, like for which element it has the combination, like inner text as register and tag as a. Okay, so only this element has that combination, then Tosca will identify like it has to perform so and so action on this element because that combination of properties are matching with only this element. If you consider this login, what are the properties of this login? Inner text as login, okay, inner text as login and tag as a. Okay, when you tell tag as a, it will try to find the properties for all the links. Okay, so that will be the filter here. This is for this, your element tag will not be as a. Okay, only the hyperlinks will have tag as a. So in all the hyperlinks, it will try, okay, it will try the inner text as login. So all these are the hyperlinks. If you see, for this hyperlinks, what is the text? It is books. For this hyperlinks, it is computers. Okay, so here inner text is books and here inner text is computers. It is not matching with this combination, right? Inner text login and tag as a. If you consider this one, for this inner text will be the register. Inner text is nothing but whatever text you are seeing here, mostly that will be the inner text of that element. Okay, so if you consider here inner text is register and since it is a hyperlink, the tag will be a. Okay, and if you consider this one, inner text will be login and tag is a. So this element has matched. No other element is matching with inner text login and tag as a. Only one element. So that is the reason it is showing like the selected item is unique with this combination of the properties inner text and tag as a. And once you are done choosing the properties for each element, you have to click on this save. Okay, and then close this Xscan window. Yeah. So after that you will come to this screen. Okay, we call it as the Tosca commander. Okay, once you come back to the Tosca commander, just click on this save button. Only then the module which you have created now will be saved. Okay, just click on this save button. And now see, you have created a module and what all the elements you have tried to identify, only this register and this login button. Okay, and now once you save this module, you have to rename this module. Okay, so naming convention is very important in Tosca. Otherwise, you will not be knowing in which module what all the elements are present. Okay, so in order to rename this module, what you have to do is right click on this rename. Okay, some pencil icon is there, right? Click on this, and now can I rename it as top menu? Because all these elements are present on the top side, right? So I'll just rename it as a top menu. Okay, and now you are, so first phase of the automation is completed now. So identification is done, and now we have to perform some action on this element. What you'll do is go to your test case section. Okay, just ignore all this. right click, create one folder. Okay, so name that folder as demo and right click on this demo and create a test case. Okay, so you are creating a test case under one folder. Okay, yeah, and now you can just rename your test case according to your requirement. Okay, now what you will do is you have to drag and drop this module from module section to the test case section. Okay, so just drag this module from module section to the test case section. Okay, inside this test case. So now when you drag some module, okay, inside the test case, okay, what happens, it will create a test step, and again whatever action you are performing on this test step, you have to rename it. Okay, let's say suppose I want to perform some click action on this register. Just click on this drop down and you have this click. Okay, just choose click, that's all, and you have to rename this test step, like click on register. Okay, because in the real time you will be having multiple test steps. Okay, so you will not be knowing what you are performing in each and every test step. So that is the reason renaming it is very important. Just by seeing the name itself, you will get to know like what you are actually performing in this test step. Okay, again you need not go with the logic from the scratch of your test case. Okay, yep. So now your two phases is completed. One is the identification phase. You have identified these elements with the properties. Okay. So if you click this register, no, right side you have a properties section, and below inside the properties section you can see with which properties you have identified this element. Okay, this register element. So we have identified with the inner text property and tag as a. Okay, similarly for the login as well, if you click on login in the properties section, you can see with which properties you have identified. Okay, and for all the elements, you will be having one property like business type. Okay, by default, this property will come. So what is this business type is, it will tell what type of element it is on the screen. Okay, so now this is the link, right? Hyperlink. That is the reason it has tag as a. So it is showing business type as link. Okay, and this login element is also a link, correct? So that is the reason you have business type as link. See, it's a link, right? So when I mouse over here, you will be navigated to some other page. You click. This is this one also. So these are the hyperlinks. So that is the reason you have business type as link. Okay. So now what we'll do is we will try to run this test case. Okay. So when you run this test case, what it has to do? First, it has to identify this element and then perform click action on this register element. Okay. Just right click and you have an option called run in Scratchbook, or else shortcut you can press F6. Okay. And see some hand icon, it is clicking on that register. That's all. So this is how we will automate using the Tosca tool and without any coding. Okay, and your execution is completed. Since it clicked on this register button, okay, so that is the reason you have navigated to this registration page. Okay, and see in this scratch book, you can see your temporary results. Okay, click on register, and this green tick mark, it indicates like this test step has passed successfully. Okay, there is no error in this. Clear? Is this clear for everyone? Have
Yes,
you
sir.
actually automate? Yeah. So the main thing is the identification phase only. Like you will be identifying the elements using different techniques. Like in this example, this register element, it got identified uniquely with the properties that is present. Okay, and sometimes in some cases your element will not get identified even though if you select multiple combination of the properties. Okay, so in that cases we will be going with the other identification techniques as well. This is one identification technique. Okay, so all those other identification techniques we will discuss in our course. Okay, this is one simple example I've taken to show you like how you actually automate in Tosca. And I just wanted to tell you one more thing. Let's say suppose now you have identified this registered element with these two properties. Okay, and let's say suppose in future this properties has changed. Okay, so this register now R is capital and remaining all are small letters, right? So in future, they have changed this complete register spelling into the caps lock. Okay, then again your Tosca will not be able to identify that element. So in that case, instead of again scanning this element, you can simply change the value to which it has changed, that new value. Okay, so you will just change it here like this, all capitals. That's all. And wherever you have used this module in all the test cases, it will change there also. Okay, yeah. So in this way, your maintenance is also very easy in Tosca. Okay, again, like let's say suppose you have used this module in 100 test cases. Okay, and whenever there is some change in this property, your 100 test cases will get failed, because with this property values, Tosca is not able to identify that element, and ultimately your test case will get failed. Okay, so here now what you can do is you can simply go to this module section, go to the properties and change that property value, change it to the new value which it has changed. Okay, and now your all 100 test cases will work fine. Okay, so this is very easy to maintain 100 test cases, correct? This is one of the best feature we have in Tosca, like maintenance of your test cases is easy. Any doubts? Yeah, you can ask your doubts now, everyone. Yes, please don't feel
Madam,
shy.
madam, is this first class or yesterday introduction class has happened?
This is the demo class. Hello.
Yeah, how
Tomorrow
many
will
days?
be your first class.
What will be the training duration? Like how many days?
1 month.
1 month. So after training, after this training,
Hmm.
you keep 3 years of experience on Tosca.
Yes, you can keep.
Okay. Thank you.
Madam, I have passed in 2012 degree BCom computers. Can I
Okay.
keep that gap certificate and go on like that? Experience
Yes.
certificate.
Yes, Ravi, you can go ahead. No issues in that.
And how are the job offers like that? I want to know.
Now you have so much demand in Tosca, so don't delay. Just try to practice as much as you can within this month, and from the next month onwards, you can like attend for the interviews. Okay, so I can say like in my company, they are replacing many automation tools with the Tosca. Okay, so I have seen two projects like one project they are migrating like till now they have been using the UFT automation tool, and now they had automating it with the Tosca from the scratch. And there is one more project as well. They were using the Selenium since the maintenance is very huge, so they are again coming to the Tosca. They are migrating the Selenium entire project into the Tosca. So since the maintenance is very easy and it is very easy, like anyone can learn without the coding knowledge, right? So that is the main advantage of the Tosca. That is the reason people are showing more interest in order to migrate to the Tosca. So for the job offers, you need not worry. You have so much demand outside.
Hello,
So
ma'am. Myself Shanti. I'm from B Pharmacy background. Is there any opportunities for us also? Actually,
yes.
it is not IT, right?
Yeah, no issues. Even though you are from the IT background and you are from the manual testing, you can switch to the automation. If you are not from the IT background, you can still go ahead with the automation. Okay, but the only thing is, whatever tool you are learning, you should have good knowledge in that.
Okay.
Yeah, you should be able to crack the interview. That's all. Whatever background be it is.
Like we have also opportunities like first they prefer the IT candidates, right? In that
It's not
scenario.
like that. See, if you are an IT, let's say you are from IT background only, and you do not have up to the mark knowledge in Tosca, then why will they consider you? Okay,
No, no.
all they need is you should be able to, like, you should have good knowledge in Tosca. That's all.
Okay, okay. Thank you.
Madam, non-technical are there now. How much salaries are given Tosca after
In
placing?
Tosca, yeah, recently one of my student, he got like his package was earlier it was 6, okay, and after learning this one he has moved with the package 14 in HCL company. So you have very good packages now, very good demand and very good packages. So all that you need to do is you have to learn Tosca, practice it well.
Non-technical people also are providing same.
Yes, non-technical people also.
Hi, ma'am. Can we get support for mock interviews or
Yeah, sure.
real-time interviews? And are you going to
So
show any real-time projects like that?
once you are done with the course, okay, so the last class it will be the mock interview class only.
Okay.
Okay. Hello, ma'am. I want to know that, in course duration, you are going to tell us regarding the software. But after
Yeah,
that, how can we practice that? That it is not free open source, no? It's a paid version.
I will
How
help you
can?
with the license.
Okay, okay. After a course also, right?
Yeah, after the course also you can have the license. There is no
Okay.
issue with that. Okay, you can have the license, you can practice as many days as you want.
Okay. Okay. Got it. Thank you.
Hi, ma'am. Do you need install any tools for this?
No, only installation of Tosca is fine. No other third party tool is required.
Okay, are you going to send that link or?
Yeah, I will help you with the installation procedure. Okay, so what you need to do is today you have to give your confirmation status to the Pradeep. Okay, if you are going ahead with this course or not. Okay, so what Pradeep will do, he will create a WhatsApp group. Even I will be there in that WhatsApp group, and we will share you this demo recording, and from tomorrow's recording as well into your drive, okay, to your Gmail ID drive. And yeah, and once you confirm your status, then I can help you with the installation procedure, and I can give you the license.
Okay, after finishing my course, if I want to join again for class, can I join?
Yeah, you can join. Like if you want any clarity in so and so topic, then you can join in the next batch class.
Is there any limit to join, or I can join for any time?
There is no such limit, Lakshmi.
Okay.
Hmm.
Daily 1 hour it will be class. Or,
Daily 1 hour. You want more time, more than 1 hour?
not like that. Just you have particulars, right?
No, no, no. On 1 hour we have. Daily
Okay,
one
okay.
hour we can
Is
have.
that offline also you are giving or only online?
Online only.
Okay, okay. Fine, madam. Actually, like myself, Vasu, madam, I have a total of 8 years of experience in non-IT. That is US banking I have worked in.
Mm.
So can I keep like 4 years for the Tosca?
Yeah, you can keep Paso.
Okay. Remaining can I put for the manual?
Yes, you can. You can do it.
Okay, okay. Okay, madam. Thank you so much.
Hello.
Yes.
Ma'am, are you providing some support in my current project?
Sorry, come again.
Can you provide some support in my current project?
Yeah, you can talk to this on Pradeep. Okay. So we can
Okay.
have connect on that, Nikhil.
Okay. Actually, and we have some users like full permission and read-only permission. So for sometimes we have to test for read-only permission. So it has some hyperlinks and some functions are not visible. So we can test in that.
Yeah, you can test it. So currently you are working in Tosca project.
Okay. Yeah, currently I'm working in Tosca. So actually, I got some modules for testing. So for that, actually, I stuck somewhere in that. So I'm
Mm-hmm.
not getting some help from this. So that's
Okay.
why I'm asking.
Yeah, we can provide. We can provide work support for you. No issues. You first talk to
Okay.
Pradeep on that, Nikhil.
Okay. Like actually, currently in my company, they are using VPN. So is it possible in that?
Yeah, I will guide you.
Okay.
Hmm.
Okay. Okay. Thank you.
Any
So,
other
ma'am, I
doubt?
have one question. Regarding this, after this training, we have to attend for, we have to write for a certification one co-exam, right?
Correct. Yeah.
So, which organization is providing that certification?
No, Tricentis people only, they have an URL. Okay. So you
Okay.
can log into that URL and you can apply. It's a free certification, and then uh, it will not expire.
Earlier we see that Bangalore-based company or something like US-based, yeah, Amazon Web Services, we will have to take the certification. If we are passed, that will be very helpful in the interview while attending. Because
Correct.
basis on the certification which we have attained, it will highly impact when we are going for an interview. So I just wanted to know which organization they are providing the certification.
No, no organization is providing you the certification. Tricentis people only, they are providing you the certification. It's a free certification. After this course, you can attend for that certification exams and you can finish it. And even for the certification also, if you want any support, we can provide you. Again, on this certification support, discuss with the Pradeep. Okay. In case if you require any support for the certification completion.
Sure, ma'am. Thank you.
Mm.
So from tomorrow, same time class or?
Yeah, 8:30 to 9:30 we have class from tomorrow. So I request everyone, please give your confirmation status to Pradeep. So in tomorrow we can we can discuss how to install Tosca, and I can give you with the license. Okay, only to the people who has confirmed. Any other questions you
Hello.
have?
Hello.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah. What is the content are you going to cover in this training? Like the API testing.
The course content, it has, like Pradeep has it, he will share with you. Okay.
Sure.
Yeah. Yes. Any other questions?